Hello Virgo, and welcome to Sincere Tarot. This is your mid-October tarot reading, and your energy for mid-October is justice, so objective, fair, looking at things clearly. So if there's some sort of legal decision that you're waiting on, it will be fair. And if there's any clarity of mind needed, oh, you will have it. This can also be a Libra energy. I'm a Libra. Okay, so what does Virgo need to know for mid-October? Please and thank you. All right, definitely a few things you need to know about. So I feel as though in the background, we've got the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords can represent either a young person, often a young female, but can also represent the start of a intellectual endeavor. Swords represents the mind, so it is often, spoken, written words. And it's just the start. Right now, you are feeling super disappointed about something because you're coming up as the Eight of Cups. And it's like you're having to abandon something and walk away from something that used to be emotionally fulfilling. It could be some sort of project, something you're meant to do, a particular relationship, potentially. But what you need to know about is that we've got the World card, and that is completion. It's finally it. Like, you're walking away from disappointment, from something that used to be emotionally fulfilling, okay? But it's over. It's over. It's over. This cycle is over. And all you need to do is be true to yourself, because the energy between you and the disappointment that you're feeling right now, and what you need to know, is the Queen of Wands, and she is authentic. She speaks her mind. She speaks the truth. That doesn't mean that she's rude or mean or anything like that, but she says the truth. And you know what? Sometimes the truth can hurt, but she always is true to herself and absolutely stands up for what she believes in. And she won't budge, or she won't lie just to make other people feel comfortable. That doesn't make sense, because why would she lie about what she thinks, feels, and what she stands for? It doesn't make any sense at all. So I feel as though you need to recognize that this cycle is over. The disappointment, what you're walking away from, it's over. It's not going to happen again. You will be taking some time to yourself, because we've got the outcome as the Hermit, and that is your card. So that can mean one of two things, or both of these things at the same time, is that you will be taking some time out for yourself to reflect, to tap into that universal intuition that you do have, but also just being your Virgo, practical, down-to-earth, matter-of-fact energy, and just really taking time to reflect. And I feel as though you are also going to feel a little bit stuck, and this could literally be stuck where you are in the world, potentially lack of travel, because the world can obviously represent travel sometimes, and that's being clarified by the Hanged Man. I do feel that, look, you're not necessarily going to enjoy being stuck in the near future, or that even if you are able to move around and travel somewhat, like, it's like the energy is not, you're not really feeling this moving forward energy. It's just kind of staying in the same spot. However, that will force you to withdraw and explore yourself internally, because sometimes we'll travel and we'll go here and we'll do that and we'll have this relationship and do all of these things, and then we're not and that can actually be a form of abandoning ourselves and ignoring ourselves and our emotions and the way that we feel. It's like a big distraction. So you won't necessarily at first completely enjoy being stuck, that feeling of stuckness, that you're having to sacrifice your life, your travel, where you go in the world, things like that. But it's going to be one of the best things for you. You're really going to learn a lot about yourself when you stand still, when you stay still, when you are stuck in a situation that is not moving forward, and you literally just have to sit and wait. And it's not necessarily a fair situation for you at all, but you're in it nonetheless. you're going to look at things from such a different perspective and tap into so much internal wisdom and really become the true essence of your Virgo energy. And if you want to learn more about that, check it out in astrology, okay? And also, like, in the future, whatever it is that you're walking away that you're disappointed from, like, you're going to have a fresh, new, clear perspective. You'll be able to look at things more objectively and clearly. I think you're gonna brush off this disappointment faster than you realize because of your new perspective. You'll be like, wait a second, that's not right. I mean, for example, remember this is a general reading, but for example, let's say you're walking away from a relationship or a disappointment from a relationship. I'm sorry, I've just had this situation so many times. I'm thinking about it in my head and I'm laughing, that's why. And you know, all of the advice that maybe your friends and family would give you about this person, and you're like, ignore. And then finally the relationship ends, and then suddenly there's like a switch, and you're like, oh, everything they said was true, or there was at least a lot of truth to what they said. And I think that you're really going to have a new perspective on the situation pretty quickly. And you'll see it for what it is. You'll see it clearly. And you might be like, hey, wait a second, that wasn't fair. That wasn't right. You know what? I'm going to take better care of myself in the future. I think that's going to be part of your new perspective. You're going to grow up a little bit. Maybe not have such youthful naivety. I mean, are there some relationships, some people that you talk to in a way that are almost like there's got to be a part of your psyche that is still the same way that it was when you were a little child? So I think it's kind of like you're going to learn to you'll grow out of that a little bit, and I think you'll be a little bit more defensive and not necessarily so forthright, telling people everything all at once. I think you might kind of hold back a little bit more, be a little bit more reserved. Okay, let's get some clarification cards. So what does Virgo need to know for mid-October about the situation? Please and thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. Ooh, wow. Very, very interesting. Okay. That is so cool. We've got quite a number of sixes as well, which is like an overall success. So in the background, the Page of Swords is being clarified by the Six of Pentacles success. So I feel that whatever your endeavor was in the past leading into this situation, I feel that overall you will be successful. It's not necessarily going to be an amazing success, like everything that it could potentially be, but it is a success nonetheless. You're being taken care of. What you're walking away from is something that maybe you thought was security. What you're disappointed about might be something with like money or investments or land or property, work, contracts, security of a family or security of a connection. I feel that you have overall, I feel that overall you will have done the healing that you need to do to actually complete this cycle, because it is a cycle, and finish with this stress. Sometimes you just being yourself can cause stress in your family group by saying what's on your mind and saying what's your opinion. But it seems that will hopefully come to an end with this World card. I feel that you definitely will retreat. I think, okay, a few things. Sorry, a lot of things come at once sometimes, but I feel that you will retreat, and it might be at the start to lick your wounds, but you will gain that wisdom that you absolutely need nonetheless. So silver linings, not a fun situation, but you will tap into the wise old soul that you are because of this. I think that being stuck in the situation that you're in, rather than running away from it, trying to escape it, is going to allow you to actually see, hey, things are a lot better than I realize. And maybe having a bit more of an attitude of gratitude and being like, wow, things are actually, taking that time to stop and smell the roses and appreciating the little things, which maybe you didn't really do so much in the past. It's really going to be very helpful for you. And I think that what you're going to be on the defense a bit more about is when it comes to relationships or things that are emotionally fulfilling, it's got to be for deep, deep emotional, not shallow. It's got to be deep. I think you're going to brush off, like if this is to do with you in relationships, you're going to brush off the F-boys, if you know what I mean. And yeah, and you're not going to just like listen to anyone who says sweet nothings to you. You're going to be like, what do you want out of the situation? Can I really trust you? You'll be looking at things from a new perspective. Okay, what is this thing that they feel disappointed about? Oh my gosh. You're disappointed because you feel that you don't have the life that you really want yet. So let's ask, what can you do to get the life that you want? You need to stop limiting your mind. So many people, especially women, not always obviously, will have this idea about, this is the life that I want, it looks like this, it has these things, list of 100 specific things, and they need every single thing to be there, and then they will feel successful. Well, that is not true, because there are many paths to the life that you want. There are many paths to the same destination. And there are many destinations that would make you feel very joyful and happy and satisfied. You create the limitations in your mind. It's like this block. So you are a manifester. You can get the life that you want. It's just that you have this mental, cognitive image of what it looks like, but your heart is a little bit more open. So your mind, these ideas that you cling to of what life, what love, what the good life looks like for you, you cling to maybe like one idea, and then when that one idea doesn't work out, you stick with it like beating a dead horse. It's not going to make any difference. It's just going to drive you crazy. So I think you need to be a little bit more open-minded and not look at, this is a big one, listen up. If you're on the pathway to the life that you want with the things that you want, and then you see something as a failure, and you're like, you might be like, there's evidence that things are not going to work out the way that I want. That's not what I envisioned. Therefore, it's not working out, or it's a failure. That's not true. Sometimes things don't work out because they're not meant to, because they block us from the shortcut to get to the destination that we want. But you get so intent on this plan A. Well, guess what? There's a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You know what I'm saying. So if something's not working out, it's just a bump in the road, or maybe you need to take a shortcut. Okay. What is this that you might be a little bit more defensive about in the future? Interesting. I think you're just not going to put up with any BS because you realize like you've struggled so much and you just don't want to struggle anymore. You don't want any more stress. It's like, you know what? That person's stressful. Goodbye. That situation's stressful. Goodbye. You're going to be very logical about that. What is it you'll be successful in? Oh, so you will overall be successful when it comes to, finances and money and things like that, and being practical and yeah. Okay. I want to know what this Five of Wands represents. What does this Five of Wands represent? Oh. Look, you get stressed out, but listen to this. You need the stress to actually change. That's how most people are. We go through difficult times, but we need that pressure. We need that pressure to actually allow for expansion, to allow for growth. It's like a baptism by fire. And if it didn't happen, there's no way you would have the amount of growth that you have right now. All right, I gotta ask one last time before I do advice cards. Okay, how can a Virgo unblock their mind to manifest the life that they want? Follow your intuition. Follow your instinct. 100%. Go with your gut instinct. And literally instinct. Because that is more connected with spiritual energy than mental energy. And I feel that I'm just getting this vibe Some of you might feel like you can't necessarily trust your heart, and that's not necessarily true, but I'm just saying go with your gut. Not your head, not your heart, your gut, animal instinct. All right, let's get some advice cards. What advice does Virgo need for mid-October? Please and thank you. Okay, right. First advice card, 5 of Pentacles. This all goes back to your childhood, feeling like you were left out and abandoned, that you don't deserve everything that you want, that you're not deserving. You need to look at this pattern. Do you choose people that, do you suddenly like, you want all these things, but then you choose people or situations that you're settling? Are you constantly settling? You're settling because you think you don't deserve any better deep down. Actions speak louder than words. So start acting and making decisions like someone who does completely care about themselves, and then you will begin to care about yourself a lot more. Second advice card, there is love coming, and that starts with self-love and having a good balance between your head and your heart, being discerning with love, being able to be empathetic. That doesn't mean you give yourself to someone, but you can still understand someone. Maybe start trying to understand other people, but mostly yourself before you start trying to love yourself. Third advice card, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. I would not be making any major decisions right now, especially when it comes to land, property, finances, your physical body, security, where you live, things like that. And I would not be spending like barely any money at all. I would not be making any big investments. I would not be doing big spends. I would not be signing any contracts where you need to start spending a bunch of money. I would be saving, if anything, at this moment. Usually when you get that advice card, that means something's going to happen in the future where money will unexpectedly be needed, okay? Not always, but start saving. Or at least stop spending so much. Okay, final advice card, 5 of Cups. The emotional ups and downs. Again, it goes back to your childhood. So it's important to think about like how the way that you feel right now, when have you felt like that in the past in your life? When was the last time I felt this way? When was the first time I felt this way? And you might want to start writing those lists down with certain people or situations, and then making a list of all the words describing it. So for example, if this is relationships, and let's say it was a relationship you were disappointed with, write a list of all the character traits of that person, and then last relationship all the way to your primary caregivers, as in parents, when you were young. And then make a list about all of their characteristics and start circling the words that they have in common, and that will help you recognize patterns and red flags because they're there. If you'd like a private reading, send me an email or check out my website. You can also follow me on social media in the information below. It's all there. Thank you so much to those of you who've liked, shared, commented, subscribed. I really appreciate all of the support, and it really means a lot. And if you're still here, you get a secret bonus card. 10 of Cups, you will get the good life. It starts with connections in the community and your home. It's not just about finding this one love or this one this or this one that. It's everything. It's everything. So focus on your network, on your community, and you will feel the love in every aspect of your life. And you deserve it. Have a good month, bye.